So welcome everyone to the V3 implementation call. Today is July 27th. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Just as a reminder, these sessions are recorded and they are offered on our website and also on our YouTube channel for anyone that misses a meeting, or if you miss a section and you want to go back and review a particular part of it, those are available to you on our website and on our YouTube channel. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can actually jump to the exact spot in the call. Our wonderful Chris timestamps those, and so that's available to you if you ever need that. I do want to excuse Clay and Eric. They both have other meetings this morning that they needed to be to, so that is where they are at today. Let me move down to the agenda. Hopefully everybody can see my screen okay. It is a short agenda on today's call. Feel free though, if there's an issue, comment, concern, question, feel free to unmute or to use your chat feature. We do encourage any conversation and discussion in these calls. So whether it's during one of the topics or whether it's during open forum, we're happy to take your comments or questions as we go through this. All right, first on our list, I'm going to turn some time over to Jen Correa. She's going to talk a little bit about connecting with our billing software stakeholders. Jen.
Good morning, everybody. So one of the things, and a few of you may have heard me talk about it before, we are trying to get more upfront input from the different stakeholders that utilize the NEMSIS data. And one of the ones we're starting with are the billing stakeholders. So I am trying to put together first a contact list of billers and eventually, hopefully before the end of the year, start with a call to find out their concerns, get an idea of, what they would like to accomplish, what kind of input they would like to have. The focus is to try and keep the billers more informed about upcoming changes, involve them in the discussions and the topics that are going on that are hot with NEMSIS. I'll use version 3.5 as an example. With billers utilizing NEMSIS data, what's the effect going to be when states and agencies convert to version 3.5? Are your billers going to be ready? Those kinds of questions. Some agencies have internal billing systems that they may not have an external biller that can discuss those kind of changes. So this would be a great place for them. And I'm a big fan of, it's easier to set things up correctly the first time than it is to go back and try and change them. I sometimes say it's like moving the sun. It just doesn't happen. And it gives them a chance to have some input up front. And that's the hope for it. That's what I'm going for. I have about 19 billing companies with a few contacts, and I'm hoping to get some more from you folks. I will put in, after I'm done talking, I'll put into the chat the list of billing agencies that I do have so that you can send me any names, phone number, email, contacts that you think may be interested. And I will reach out via email. And if they say they're not interested in being a part of it at all, I will remove them. I won't send this to anybody who's not interested in receiving it. And you guys are just a great resource. And so I'm hoping to reach out and get some info from you guys. Did anyone have any questions?
Jen, are you also looking for companies that are making billing software or just billers?
Billing software and billers, I think would be good. And if the software part of it, the one thing I am really wanting the nuts and bolts, but kind of like on the V3 implementation calls, right? The software makes a difference. It makes, if the billers suggest, hey, we need to collect this in this way, but that's not going to happen in a a software possibility, or it's a format that's just not conducive, I think it'd be good to have you guys on the call. Any other questions? I knew this would be pretty quick for you guys. Perfect. I will turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Jen. And if anybody wants to shoot Jen an email, would you put your email in the chat? If you've got a billing software company that you work with that you know would like to be involved in those discussions, shoot that over to Jen and we'll be happy to include them. All right. Next on the agenda, we're going to have Lauri Lunde talk to us a little bit about the upcoming boot camp and annual meeting.
Thanks, Julianne. We are so excited that many of you are going to be joining us in just a few weeks in Park City, Utah. And a couple of announcements. Be looking for, if you are registered, you should be getting an email this week with some information on transportation options from the airport, as well as fun things to do while you're in town. If you have extra time, we've put together a list of both of those things for your reference. And then just also a reminder too, Sunday night, so it's August 21st to the 23rd, and it starts on Sunday night with boot camp for state data managers. And if you are unsure if you should be there Sunday night, reach out to us. We can help to clarify if that meeting's for you or not. And then 7:30 Sunday night, if you do fly in for the meeting on Monday, everyone is welcome to join us Sunday night. We're going to have a little bonfire marshmallow roast that evening. And then I put a link in the chat that is a more complete agenda, but it is all day Monday. And then Tuesday afternoon, we are ending a little early at 2 p.m. for people that may need to catch a flight out on Tuesday as well. And then as far as reservations, if you have not registered, please do so as soon as possible. The block of rooms that we were holding at a discounted rate is sold out, but don't let that discourage you. We still want you there. If you have not reserved your room yet, feel free to reach out to the hotel and see if they have rooms available, perhaps at a different rate, or maybe they'd be willing to work with you. Or reach out to Monet and I. We can come up with options of other housing arrangements nearby if needed. So let us know if you need assistance with that. And I think that is all I was going to say. We're really excited to have you, and it looks like we're going to have a great turnout in person. So we're looking forward to that. Oh, Kelly just asked any COVID requirements we should be aware of. We are monitoring that. We're going to have to follow Summit County guidelines. And currently there's not any requirements, but it could change weekly. So we will let you know if there is. Any other questions? All right, I'll pass it back to you, Julianne. Thanks.
I'm sorry, it took me a minute to get my mute off. This is Wilma.
Hi, Wilma.
Hey, I'm looking at the agenda. You said there was a data managers workshop or boot camp.
Yep.
I don't see it on the agenda. So would that just be somewhere?
Should be on the top, the very top page of the agenda. So it says boot camp for state data managers, and it's Sunday evening from 3 to 7.
Okay, so we'll get an invitation for that.
Yes, well, any state data managers are welcome to come to that. If you register, then Sunday night is for you.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you. Thanks, Wilma.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? All right, reach out if you think of anything. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Lauri. And just to clarify, there's not an additional registration for boot camp. It's part of the registration for annual meeting. It is specific to state data managers. The s'more roast that we've done in the past, that's been tradition, that is open to everybody. Lauri and Monet are great resources if anybody has questions about transportation, hotel, registration, things on the agenda. Feel free to reach out to Monet and Lauri. They've been working hard at getting this all together. It's going to be a really great meeting. And if you haven't been to one of our annual meetings in the past, it's not a traditional conference. So it's not death by PowerPoint. It's a lot of discussion. And we really engage with the participants and seek and value your input on the discussion topics. So it's a really good event. Next on the agenda, we're going to turn some time over to our guest, John Beckett, for an ET3 update.
Thanks, Julianne. Can I go ahead and show my screen?
Sure.
All right. Thank you. Just a few updates this week. We do have a number of active submitters who are providing ePCR data as well as claims data on a regular basis. Right now, our count is right above 15 million that we've received. This is as of June 25th, and we're averaging about 200K per week, which is great. There is a small set of participants that haven't completed their onboarding, and we are reaching out to them to see if there is any assistance that we can take in terms of getting them up and running. We are also planning our next communications. We have newsletters, we have webinars, we have classroom sessions that we're looking at. And for this group here, I have targeted this data submission and ET3 custom elements topics. So when those get developed, we will be sending communications out, not only through this forum, but also through email and just getting the word out so folks that are stakeholders can participate. In addition, we have a upcoming NEMSIS 3.5 testing cycle. So there is a small group of folks who have gone through one of our 3.5 testing so far. The next one will be in September. We hope to get a larger group. And again, this is just to give assurances that whatever changes you've made to the software, it is something that, again, we have set up a test environment that you can send us transmissions, and we can validate the responses that you're getting back, and just make sure you're ready for sending us in the production environment at the right time. So that's also coming up. We do have a distribution now. We're in our 4th month of the monthly dashboard report. So it's been pretty successful. The July one is about to come out on Monday. So we have quite a few of our participants that have looked at their reports and reacted to them and asked questions. And so we're getting some good, feedback as well as interaction with the participants around the numbers that we're reporting. So that is a good thing. And we hope that, again, we can minimize some of the questions as time goes on so that folks are up to speed exactly what is being reported. Finally, we have a consistent number of participants that are, really successfully implemented. They're giving us monthly submissions, claims that are being submitted. We are matching those claims up to the PCR so that we can get a full, view of what occurred, particularly in an incident and afterwards. And then there's the proper usage of custom fields. And we do see this as an area that we could probably even give more information from an education standpoint of how to use those custom fields. So that is something that we are going to target for one of our future sessions. Just real quick, I developed a table here. We do have some data submission issues, and I just wanted to address this just as a way of awareness. So for instance, we've got a situation where we have inconsistent de-agency values, and some of you, particularly vendors, you probably already know that if the agency value doesn't match what we have and what we're expecting, then we typically will drop those records and they won't show up on the report, nor will they be consumed into our data store. So that is problematic, particularly for the participant who's looking to see that data reflected. So we do have this table set up so that we can understand who the responsible parties are when a situation like this occurs. Some of them might be the state data managers who are involved in making changes to the de-agency field. Some cases it might be the participant, and in some cases it might be the model. Just really depends on the scenario. And so we do cover inconsistent de-agency values. We also cover where we have unknown agencies that might be submitting to ET3. If they're not on the list, in some cases they should be on the list. So it's up to the model to reconcile that and make sure that the agency sending us the data is already approved, if you will, to be a part of ET3. Another area that's really important is operational issues. So in some cases, we do have the need to renew an API key, and that happens every 180 days. So again, some cases, we may also have system outages. Sometimes they're scheduled, sometimes they're not scheduled. The scheduled ones, we will send out notifications so that vendors and participants are aware, and we're just asking that you not submit during those scheduled outages. But the unscheduled ones where there's no notification that may have been sent, the system went down for whatever reason, it's up to the ET3 model to go ahead and request the resubmission of those missed records to make sure that, again, we have a full account of the participants' data. And in some cases, there is a change in PCR vendors. And again, we're relying on the participants to help us out to ensure that the new vendor gets onboarded correctly. Last one on the list here is we have seen a couple of changes in the entities where a participant may have been involved in a merger or termination or withdrawal. And again, we're going to put the onus on the model to make sure that they are being handled on a case-by-case basis. So just keep in mind, we do understand there are scenarios where data submissions may not be completed. And for this scenarios here, we are looking to ask the responsible parties to, help us out and participate in correcting whatever action there needs to be corrected by the stakeholders. Finally, I'm just going to say that we do ask participants to submit their data regardless of whether they've begun to implement or not. So we are expecting to have that data coming in. And implementation, is involved in not only where the field has been trained in terms of capturing the data, but also in making sure all the documentation that needs to be into the model is accomplished as well. So that is a part of the implementation of the model. We are requiring claims data as well as PCR data. So there's both. And we are looking to, again, match up these two data sources so that we can get a full picture. We want to be consistent with our data submission. And if there's a need, we want you to reference the participation agreement and the data submission guide if you have any questions or need any more details on any of those topics. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. And any questions or comments? All right, Karen, Julianne, back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let me share the screen once again and get our agenda back up there. As we go into the open forum session or section of this call, and you're thinking about if you've got a question or comment that you want to bring up, I do want to just put out there that there will not be a public training in August due to our annual meeting. So if you don't see a notice for a public training, that would be why. We will skip that for August. We'll have some pretty intense conversations during annual meeting. Are there any questions, comments, issues that anyone in this group would like to bring forward at this time during open forum? All right, I never know how long to wait. See, and I just saw Jen come on video. So Jen, do you have?
Oh, I was just going to say it's because everything's perfect and no one has any questions whatsoever.
All right. That's what it is.
See, everyone's on mute, so we can't hear the laughter that followed that. But I am funny, which I keep reminding people.
Yes, you are. Very bad. Upcoming meetings, we will have one V3 call in August. August 10th will be our next V3 call. August 24th, we will not do a V3 call. There will be a lot of people traveling home from the annual meeting, but vendors will still receive participation credit. We know that the overall number of meetings offered make a difference in the participation percentage for vendors that seek and maintain compliance. So we know that's important to you. And then we'll have another call. We'll have our normal calls in September. If you haven't yet, please get registered for annual meeting. Reach out with any questions. It's going to be a really good time. And if you're not sure if annual meeting or boot camp applies to you, reach out to anyone from the TAC, and we'll give you firsthand account of what happens during annual meeting, and if there will be content that is applicable to your level of involvement with EMS. So, wow, short meeting today. Love it. I'm sure you're all very busy and aren't going to be sad to get a little bit of time back into your schedules. Thank you so much for being with us today. Please reach out with any questions, comments, concerns, or if there are topics for the next V3 call that you would like to see addressed. We're happy to entertain that. Thank you so much, everyone, and be safe out there. Have a great day. Thanks.